Hi everyone, I'm Tracy Gallagher, and welcome to Concrete Nation. You know, every building or remodeling project starts with a plan. When you're building a home or an office, the first thing you need to do is find a site, like this spectacular piece of land here in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Then comes the planning stages, working with your architect or builder, bringing in a designer to the team, and making all of your selections. With remodeling, it's figuring out what you want to do, finding the best person for the job and at the right price to make it happen. What we'd like you to consider is maybe taking your project in a different direction that you may have never thought of before. During this program, we're going to show you why you should consider using concrete in your decks, driveways, floors, and countertops.
Concrete Nation is brought to you by the Indiana Soybean Alliance, a partner in bringing sustainable products to the concrete industry, and by Concrete Decor Magazine, the magazine the professionals read. And brought to you by Syncrete, the premier manufacturers and trainers for high-end sinks, tubs, and counters.
Depending on the type of home you're building, you may get to tweak the house plans a bit, but most likely, you're never going to meet the person who drew them up. But if you're building a custom home, the architect or building designer is someone you're going to need to work closely with, because that person will turn your vision into a reality.
Knowing that you're using concrete at the beginning of a project gives us a clear advantage.
If concrete is what you've chosen for your dream home or office space, architects add experience and knowledge to your project, and they'll give you fresh ideas on how to make it even better.
Concrete has a lot of interesting design possibilities in terms of how thick it is, what color it is, what the finish is, these kinds of things.
Architects David De Valeria and Eric Hansen say the most important thing to understand is that concrete reacts to structural forces in a different way than other building materials.
So you're dealing with shear, you're dealing with compressive forces, you're dealing with tension, and so you need to understand what the various structural properties of the building are so that at the end of the day you can design the most efficient structure possible.
It's also best to know whether you want to use concrete at the beginning of your project. Knowing ahead of time can save you time and money and lead to a better overall structure.
We can start energy modeling, for instance, so that our engineers can run off and start doing some calculations. Concrete can be molded, bent, poured in many different shapes and configurations. Knowing that ahead of time again, allows us sort of a broader palette to work from.
When it's finished, you should expect your new concrete project to last a long time.
I think what you're seeing is you're seeing a lot more people interested in, having structures that are not just 2 or 3 or 5-year structures, but 20 or 30-year structures.
One of the misconceptions about concrete is that it can appear cold or drab in your home. Well, we're at the Arizona Design Center to show you how to warm it up. If what's stopping you from using concrete is the color or the feeling it gives a room, you may have to take another look.
There are so many ways to warm up concrete in a home. The question is, where do we start? I think the biggest misconception out there is that it's gray and drab, and it doesn't have to be that way at all. In fact, concrete's one of the few materials where you can inject color and you can control the amount of color and the hue.
If your style is traditional, a great place to start is with a rug.
It gives you a pattern with a historical perspective of a certain region of the world, whether it be Persia or India, and it gives you all the warmth and the color. And then from there, you can pick your fabrics based off of those colors, and the color will always take care of you. It gives you that path to follow.
It's a good starting place in a design.
It is. You're only limited by the artisans you're working with and what you can pour it into. So you have quite a few shapes. You can do bathtubs, you can do fireplaces, you can do tabletops for coffee tables. I mean, you're only limited by what you limit yourself with,
Laura says the most important thing, no matter what surface you're working with, is to have a plan.
So if you are using concrete, use it ahead of time. Get the right colors to go with your fabrics, with your rugs, with your pillows, and even your wood finishes or metal finishes or whatever you're using, so that the colors and the textures have a continuity. And then you walk in the space and you feel fresh and it just makes sense, and you don't know why it makes sense necessarily, but all of those elements together are what create a successful design.
The type of concrete you're likely to use just may depend upon where you live. If you live in an area with a lot of rain, there's a surface you should really take a look at. It's called pervious concrete, and when water hits it, it's now you see it, now you don't. Water passing right through concrete? Sounds like something David Copperfield might use in one of his shows. Yet this is no master illusion, it's concrete.
Over 50 years ago, pervious was developed in Europe for a specific use, and they found that it has insulative properties, but more importantly, it's very useful in being able to pass water through it and filter the water on the way.
One of the great features about pervious concrete is what it can mean to people who live in an area where water can be an issue.
Pervious concrete, the number one thing I think people should remember is if there is an issue with water, possibly because the house is sitting at a level so close to the level of the road, you really can't get proper runoff. Pervious concrete's a good idea if they're ecologically minded and they'd like to put a retention tank in and capture the water that goes through the pervious already filtered. They can reuse that water to water their yards or their flowers or anything else.
Every year, professionals in the concrete industry get together in Las Vegas for the World of Concrete show. And every year, pervious is playing a bigger role. At this year's event, we got to see firsthand the latest equipment being used to get the job done right. It's a great service to use around hot tubs and swimming pools because of the fact no water means no slipping. And Miller says there are even more ways pervious can make you safer.
Older couple, for instance, I've done their patio for them, and they make several trips to the doctor's office. With the pervious patio and step out front on their way to their car, there's no slippage. Water runs through it, it won't have a chance to freeze on top of it, and they're safer that way.
And the old days of not wanting pervious because you couldn't color and stamp it are over. In addition to now being able to stamp a variety of patterns, Miller says the sky's the limit on colors.
Any color can be put in pervious concrete. If it's available in the ready-mix market for integral color, it can be done on a topical. There's no limit to what color pervious concrete can be.
No longer the ugly stepchild of the concrete industry, pervious has reached the point that you need to consider using it on your next project.
Honestly, everybody should consider pervious if they've got some objectives in mind. That is, being green. Something we all love to do is hug a tree, but it also makes very good sense for developers to, in effect, multitask for the use of their land space. You build the detention basin and the parking in the same land space in a much more appealing scenario and more effective in separating contaminants, and it mitigates those contaminants and captures them on site.
Coming up next on Concrete Nation, we'll take you to a beautiful country club community that made concrete the focal point of their entire look. And if you're thinking about finally doing that bathroom remodel, you have to see how concrete made a huge difference on this job. As we go to break, take a look at this fountain and guess, is this concrete? Don't go away, Concrete Nation is coming right back. Welcome back. The answer to our question, is this fountain concrete, is yes. Although the trim is tile, the majority of this fountain is made of concrete.
45 miles southeast of Phoenix is a private country club with beautiful homes. The clubhouse they've built there is spectacular, incorporating concrete in a way that showcases just how much you can do with it once those creative juices get flowing.
It's just never ending. I mean, if you really just take the time and see this place, it is absolutely spectacular.
When Shea Homes built Encantera, a big part of creating the look and feel of this country club centered around concrete, especially this countertop in the bar.
If you see that bar, when you look at it, you can see the design that went into that. That is not just a normal concrete countertop. That is a showpiece. When people come in and they see that, and you see the glass, and you see the way they cut the wine bottles, literally like a slice of bread, and put them into the mix, and it's incredible. It is just a showpiece.
Ray's company Decorative Concrete Staining and Scoring Inc. did the fireplace in the restaurant, and it left us wondering if it was concrete or actually tile.
No, that's actually existing concrete, and what we did is we made the tile. It's a custom tile that was made for this location in Encantera. And what they wanted us to do is duplicate that on the face of this fireplace. They weren't able to get the tile to stick properly, and it would create a lip. and they didn't want that. They wanted to be very clean, so what they wanted to know is if we could do it.
Concrete is a part of almost everything out here. The type around the pool is meant to keep the surface cooler in the hot Arizona summers and to keep people from slipping when it gets wet. The walls have more than just concrete on them. There are rocks embedded in the colored concrete throughout the entire exterior. The concrete floors inside are acid stained with special text embedded in them. Even many of the pots are concrete, as are the beautiful water fountains in the entryway and out back overlooking the golf course. Incantera is a great example of incorporating concrete in a job in ways that might not have come to mind right away.
One of the things that I have found in this industry is a lot of people really don't understand the concept of concrete and how you can take it to the next level. And what we're seeing in this industry is people are taking it to the next level, and my desire is to teach people how that's being done today.
The next time you're out walking or driving around town, take a look at all the things around you and try and figure out what they're made of. What you'll start noticing is that concrete is everywhere.
Concrete can be used in numerous applications. As you can see here, we have a sidewalk, plaza area, we have buildings, roadways, houses. I mean, it's everywhere. Everywhere that you travel, you will see the use of concrete.
To see a wide variety of uses for concrete, a perfect place to go is Scottsdale's waterfront area. This public plaza is revitalizing downtown with its textured and colored concrete. You'll find colored concrete walkways next to water lined with concrete designs. High-rise condos nearby feature concrete products. Even this lamppost shows how versatile concrete can be.
I mean, this has got exposed aggregate in itself. This is pretty neat.
The concrete for this project was supplied by Drake Materials in Scottsdale. To keep up with the demand, its parent company is building a new cement plant 90 miles north of Phoenix.
Well, concrete has definitely gained a lot of momentum over the past several years. In 2006 and 2007, in the peak of the market, the Phoenix metro area consumed over 10 million cubic yards of concrete. That's roughly 40,000 cubic yards a day. Phoenix and Arizona has been typically an import market of cement, and our cement plant will help fill a need of producing locally supplied cement. As a concrete producer, we see concrete being an integral part of any growth in any market.
When it looks this great, it's easy to see how that could happen. Just ahead on Concrete Nation, most trade shows just leave a mess to clean up when they leave town. We'll show you one that leaves behind works of art that last for years. And we'll give you a great reason to save the next cocktail napkin doodlings you do. It could end up being your next home. And if you like the concrete projects you see in this show, find a professional to do work like this for you at findaconcretecontractor.com. We'll be right back. Concrete Nation is brought to you by the Indiana Soybean Alliance, a partner in bringing sustainable products to the concrete industry, and by Concrete Decor Magazine, the magazine the professionals read. And brought to you by Syncrete, the premier manufacturers and trainers for high-end sinks, tubs, and counters.
At industry trade shows where you build things, when the show ends, those things are most likely taken apart. But now there's a new player with a decorative concrete trade show that's making its mark, not just for what's built during the show, but for what's left behind. The Phoenix Children's Museum used to be the Monroe School, built back in 1910. So when the Concrete Decor Show came to town last year, it was time for some updates.
It really became our canvas for showing just how diverse and how applicable decorative concrete can be in a built environment such as this. In an era of sustainability, green building, environmental responsibility, decorative concrete is answering the call in a rather dramatic way, as you'll see throughout this facility.
One of the highlights is a koi pond that was created on a gray concrete surface.
Within days of that area opening, children were counting the fish, jumping from lily pad to lily pad, and literally getting down on the floor and swimming. And then their parents would throw out a fishing line and reel them in. So all parts of them, their minds, their muscles, their imaginations came into play. And for us to have found a way to physically engage them in that way with something that it's just a floor was just amazing.
What was once a dirt courtyard is now decorated with a stamped concrete design. Picnic tables are surrounded by patios and round concrete stepping stones, each with a unique look.
Here we have a different type of application where UV surface coatings were used so that we could get this floor serviceable in a very short turnaround time, so the children could be back on this floor the very next day.
This year, the Concrete Decor Show heads to Nashville, Tennessee, and they have big plans, not only for the professionals that attend, but also for the city that's hosting the show.
Contractors, supply stores, architects, and others, they can all point to Rocketown and Nashville and say, this is decorative concrete. And the industry can point to Nashville and say, this is where we left a footprint. And our show can say, we came here, we did it, and we left the community in a better place.
From countertops to back porches and driveways, there is just no limit to how concrete can be used to build or enhance a home. Whether you're looking to update your kitchen or build a brand new home, decorative concrete has come a long way.
Concrete has come so far now that not only can we really match it dead on the dot, where if someone walks in the room, they don't just say immediately, that's nice, but it's man-made. That most people are going to say, wow, that's positively granite.
If you want a more artsy look, using different designs and materials can transform ordinary concrete into a conversation piece. Decorative concrete can also be used to enhance the outside of your home. This landscape border of man-made rocks was created to match the natural terrain. This concrete water fountain offers a relaxing backyard view. Concrete also makes a durable and attractive driveway.
But we did the cobblestones sections in between to break up that hard kind of the look with the more to warm it up.
If you're looking to build a new home, concrete can be used throughout the inside and outside to give it an original look. Romy Romero's house, northwest of Phoenix, features 3,000 square feet of mostly concrete. Romy knows a lot about building. He co-hosts a popular syndicated radio show about home building and maintenance every week with his dad, called Rosie on the House.
And knowing that concrete is a much more durable surface, much more reliable and thermally stable, I found every which way I could to incorporate those kind of decorative options into my home.
One of his favorite places is outside on his concrete back porch. It was stamped to look like wood, and it's just as easy to relax on as it is to maintain. His floors inside feature acid-stained concrete, and Cattle brands give it a one-of-a-kind look.
The upkeep is minimal. The maintenance is really easy, and it's a lot more custom look that you can get with acid stain than you can get with anything else.
But one of the biggest benefits of this concrete home comes in the form of smaller electric bills.
You can go feel the heat on this outside wall, and it'll be 110 degrees. You can come inside and put your hand on the interior, and it'll be 72 degrees.
Next on Concrete Nation, there are houses that have concrete, and then there are concrete houses. We'll show you the difference when Concrete Nation comes back. When it comes time to get concrete work done, the best place to find a pro to do the job is findaconcretecontractor.com. Concrete Nation is brought to you by Specialty Concrete Products. Quality, service, reliability, expertise. Specialty Concrete Products has the people and the products to meet the demands of today's decorative concrete professional. And brought to you by Top Deck, the decorative coating formulated by contractors for contractors.
Still having doubts about using concrete in your next remodel project? Well, consider this. When it's done right, concrete can be the centerpiece of an entirely new look. When Dave and Nancy Miller decided to redo their master bath, they chose concrete to give the sink and countertops a fresh new look. And they chose Brian Gauthier to help create a look that simulates real granite.
We'll probably do some light earth tone colors, a toasted almond with some grizzly brown colors. And then we'll have all the synthetic micas, maybe put some natural micas in there.
An acrylic polymer is used to prime the countertop. It's like a glue that makes the cement much stronger.
We want to really prime it. What this is doing by priming, it's almost like tree roots going down the ground. So when we put our cement over this, it's going to be locked onto the tree roots. We're going to add a little bit of polymer in there just to loosen that up a little bit, and it's going to be perfect.
The cement is spread onto the countertop. It's at least 1/16 of an inch to no more than 1/8 of an inch thick.
It's almost like spreading icing on a cake. These jobs can be completed in one long day or 2 short days. I'm normally 3 hours, 4 hours max if I'm doing a 2-day process. From here, we're going to deliver the finished countertop and the sinks to the job site. We're going to install the sinks, then we'll install the plumbing.
Okay, let it down all the way. Okay.
But now, the ultimate test of this remodel job. What do Dave and Nancy think about it?
Just cannot believe this is concrete. I mean, just look at this, how shiny and beautiful.
This not only has way more space, but it looks beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it.
You know, good house plans aren't always drawn up by an architect or building designer. Ever doodled on a cocktail napkin and at the time thought you had something great? Well, we found one cocktail napkin drawing that turned into an amazing concrete house. From a napkin to the slope of a mountain, this home fits perfectly with the name of the town it's located in, Paradise Valley. The 8,000 square foot home is mostly concrete, and it features 9,000 more square feet of concrete outside. Renee Smith says he and his wife had always wanted a modern, contemporary home that was easy on the eyes and their pocketbook.
It was simple to decide. We wanted a concrete home. The floors are so simple to take care of. We love the look of it. We did decide that it was less expensive than the wood, especially some of the, you can spend quite a bit on wood, as we found out. So yes, the expense was very reasonable. We had no problem with the affordability of it at all.
From the living rooms to the restroom, concrete is used in a variety of ways in this spacious home. One of the homeowner's favorite, 25-foot concrete pillars that anchor a balcony with some of the best views in the area.
Everybody notices it that comes up and down the street, had more comments on it than just about any other feature of the house. At night, we light them up and you can see them from quite a ways away, and it's beautiful.
The family enjoys a concrete fireplace in the winter. Summers are spent outdoors by the pool and jacuzzi, which features concrete tile on the deck. And along with the beauty of the home comes another benefit of using concrete, its durability.
I love how rough you can be with this house. You don't have to tiptoe through here. And I am hard on things, so my wife's happy I can't break anything.
Next week on Concrete Nation, can an ordinary basement transform into a true work of concrete art? We'll show you how you can rip out your old carpet and replace it with polished concrete that resembles marble. And we'll show you how that outdated bar can be turned into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And you won't believe what we can do with concrete to cover those plain, boring walls. Coming up next week on Concrete Nation.
And that's our show for today. We hope you enjoyed seeing all of the incredible concrete projects we showed you from here in the Phoenix area. If you missed anything or just want to see it again, go to our website, concretenation.com. And before you begin your next project, think about what you saw here today. Do something different and become part of the Concrete Nation. I'm Tracy Gallagher. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.